to add player. So I right click here, template, add instance. From the model I go in player folder. From the player folder I selecting ideal template. So to focus, click on this ideal entity, click F. So it is focusing. So from perspective view to I changing to top view to I changing to perspective view. So now I changing player position. So this is my player. So I creating one entity. So renaming to player. Then I adding this child of this player. This thing I rotating 90 degree. So from game view you can see like this. So camera I changing this background. To change that one I using clear color. So I'm giving little bluish. So later will change. Right now I keeping this thing. So I creating one folder called player. So inside the player I creating new Anim Graph. So I using latest method animation instead of legacy. I using animation state method. So I changing to player. So double click to open. So this is initial state. So initial state I renaming to ideal. So I need 2-3 state. So first I need ideal, then jump, then run, then hitting. So this all are I going to create. So renaming, run, no, jump, and hit. So I creating one variable called start. So this is one trigger, or you can make it boolean. So I'm making trigger. One more variable called falling. So this thing I am making boolean. One more I creating hit. So this is I making trigger variable. So ideal is looping. Run animation I need to loop. Jump animation I don't want to loop, so I keeping like this. Hit animation also I don't want to loop, so I'm not taking loop. So I from ideal to run transition I creating, right click, add transition. So this transition moving point to I need one condition for move ideal to run. So I checking start is trigger or I click new condition, I click start. So if it triggered, then I run it. Next, from the running state I need to move jump state. So for that I clicking add, so clicking here. So instead of adding, I giving jumping jump. So here I clicking this arrow to get the transition information. So here I giving net point to, so no condition, I checking jump is true. So if jump is false, so which means I landed. So here also give true, no condition, jump false. So hit is another condition. So this thing I need to trigger from any state. So if I in ideal state, running state, jump state, from any state I need to trigger this hit animation, so that I creating transition from any. So add transition, clicking on hit, then clicking this arrow, duration I don't want to give any duration, click new condition and click hit. Here exit time you set to 0, and while hitting on floor, this thing also you set to 0. This every exit time make it 0. So after hitting, I need to move back to this ideal state. So that thing I will add later. So let's start scripting first. So right now there is no animation happening on this player. So first what we need to do, click on this player, add component. To add this player animation graph, you need to add one component called Anim. So I select added Anim Graph component, then I drag and dropping my player Anim Graph. So here one thing I need to add, my root bone. So this is my root bone. So I add it. This player is not my root of this animation. So this is entity, then I added actually this become child of my player. So here ideal run jump hit animation I need to add. For that I'm clicking ideal. So here the name ideal is selecting, run jump. So I added our animation. Now if you are refresh, you can see our player is ideal state. So this is our player in ideal state. So here player graph, this start I be giving default value true. So this thing I will change later. Now you can see our player is running. So let's start player character script. First we need to add gravity. For that I adding one component called rigid body. We need to import that one. So click on import. So it will automatically import it. So then click on right. So rigid body it is added. You click this down arrow to hide this thing. So we required dynamic, then only we can add physics jump kind of effect. So I'm giving mass 100, friction all thing is 0. My character I don't want to rotate, so I'm giving 0, 0 angular factor, and I don't want to move my character in x and z axis. So only y axis I need to do. collision. So here I need to change 0, then this player I need to make it up, putting front view, this I'm making collision y-axis 1, so my character position I changing to down, so now it is fine. Now entire thing. So right now you can see gravity is effective. I need to make one more empty entity. So here I adding one collision. So 2 2 2 again. So 1 1 1. So this is my ground collision. Here also I need to add rigid body. So now if you are refresh, my character is staying there. So what happening here, it is falling and reaching ground, so it hit on ground collision, so it is staying there. So next I need to add one tag to ground collision by adding tag name ground. So this player I giving tag to player. Let's start player script. So for player I need gem, so I need one value for player. So I giving variable called gem power. To add variable here player dot attribute dot add variable name, then comma, open bracket, curly braces, then type I giving number. So default value you can give. So if you are using default, then I giving 500. So now if you go editor, so I need one script to player entity. So we need to add script component. Then I selected player. So this is player script added. Right now you can't see any. I declared one public variable, so it's supposed to come in editor like inspector. So to see that one you need to parse. So right now you can see that gem power came here. So from here you can give any value. So you can use. So another one public variable, but I don't want to edit this variable from the editor. So I need one variable called state. This dot state equal to ideal. So this is one variable. So here I telling to this variable I am in which state. Then I creating another variable, this dot falling is equal to false. Now we'll code jump. For that one I need to check I clicking spacebar or up arrow. So I creating if this dot up dot keyboard dot was pressed, then PC dot key underscore space. I need to check either space or up arrow, so I adding or condition. I copying same. Here I adding up, key up, then I calling one function called this dot jump. So this function I didn't create it, so we need to create. So, here we need to check my current state. So this if condition if this dot state not equal to jump. So right now I am in idle state, so I can jump. If I am in running state, I can jump. So if I am in jump state, I restricting to jumping. So I checking jump. My state is jump or what. So if my current state is not equal to jump, I setting my state equal to jump. So then control S for saving. So here one thing I missed. So in editor preference, so you click on format on save, then you can select any theme. I have set it font size 20. So if you untick, so right now if you click Ctrl S, it is not formatting. To format, you need to click this thing. We need to add force to our player. For that purpose, we need to add this dot entity dot rigid body. So which means we attached one rigid body component. We applying force to this rigid body. So I taking this dot entity, my entity, then I need to take my component. So I taking rigid body component, then I adding apply body dot apply impulse. So here I adding 0 0. So in y-axis I adding power this dot jump power. Refreshing. I'm clicking up arrow. You can see our character is jumping. So I clicking again up arrow. It is not jumping because I set jump, but I didn't set jump state to default mode. For that, first I need to check my character is hitting on ground or what. For that purpose, I adding one special function called collision stack. So this dot entity dot collision dot on, then collision start. Then I calling one function. So player dot prototype dot on collision. On collision definition. So I need to call this function. So this dot collision, then comma this. So this is one variable. So in this variable we will get which entity we collide or collision with which entity. So if ev dot other dot tabs are our variable ground. This I checking a collision with this ground tag or ground. If I collision with ground, then I changing jump state to run state. Then I setting here I setting false true. Here I setting false. Here I setting false. Now refresh. So I pressing space. You can see our character is jumping. Now I need to change the animation. For that this dot entity dot. So I need to take this graph. So I need to take this component anim. So anim, then set bool. So I need to set bool jump true. So my boolean value jump value I giving true. Next I changing, if I hit on ground I changing it become false. So now we'll check. If I click on up, so you can see our character is jumping. So right now you feeling our character is jumping in air kind of thing. It's starting jump actually from air. So why it is? Because this animation jump is starting little late actually. So that purpose what I am going to do, I creating one set timeout. So set timeout function. I am giving one delay to add force. So right now I cut and paste it here. So this is one special function. So this dot entity. So this keyword in this inside this set timeout is different value. So here we create one variable const self equal to this. So I replacing this. So now let's check. Click refresh. Click on jump. So now you can see our character is jumping properly. Next we give one background for purpose. So I'm creating one plane. Then I'm creating one folder called material. So insert material, I create a new material called background. So So in background material, in diffuse I adding my BG, then I unticking all this thing. I'm giving x-axis 30, 50 I'm giving, y-axis 50, z-axis 50, then rotation 90. Then I apply this material. So you need to add light map, not environment. So light map you need to